What if I told you that most successful solopreneurs that I know spend less money than their counterparts, the ones who are struggling, yet deliver the higher quality of results? Now, I know that sounds backwards. I really do. I know that sounds backwards. But here's what blew my mind. After looking into this and studying some of the tactics and tricks and frameworks that was used from solopreneurs, and me sitting back analyzing 56-figure solopreneurs, I found that 87% of them follow the exact same approach that most people completely ignore. See, they've cracked the code on something that I call like strategic minimalism. Check this out. In the next 12 minutes, next 12 to 15 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how they do it. And more importantly, how you can apply it to what you got going on. If you're ready, buckle up. Let's get to it.
Hey, solopreneurs. Are you ready to turn your one-person business into a thriving empire? Welcome to the Solopreneur Chronicles podcast with Anthony Porter. Each week, we're bringing you practical tips, real-life stories, and step-by-step frameworks to grow your income, build your brand, and find balance in your business. New episodes drop every Monday at 6 a.m. The perfect way to start your week strong. If you love what you hear, make sure to subscribe, share the podcast with your network, and leave us a review. Your support helps us reach more solopreneurs just like you. Let's grow together. I'll see you on the next episode.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Solopreneur Chronicles podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Anthony Porter. And if you're new here, welcome to the family. Welcome to the major community that will help you become a better solopreneur, a better entrepreneur. See, this is where ambitious solopreneurs come to get, practical, no fluff strategies that you can implement immediately. Today, we're diving into something that separates 6- and 7-figure solopreneurs from everyone else. See, most people start out as a hobby, but we're going to show you how you can basically do the same thing. There's an art to deliver high premium quality while keeping your overhead razor thin. See, most people don't get that. Most people think that you got to have an extensive budget. You got to be able to market to a certain situation. It's not necessarily true. Now, if you stick around into the end and the resources that are going to change how you think about running your business are aligned within these action steps. So, like I said, stick around. We're going to get through this as quickly as possible. If you pay attention, that means we're going to be doing more episodes. And it just so happens it's the holiday weekend. I'm on vacation, but I still needed to get this out. So this is what we're going to do. Let me start with this real quick story. 2 years ago, I met a young lady named Tina. I was at this networking event downtown Louisville. She was super brilliant. She was a consultant, and she had incredible expertise in her niche, her field. But she was struggling to break past the 3K months. Her office was around about 2K a month. Co-working with spaces in the downtown area. Her tools, every premium software subscription that she was using was roughly about $800 a month. So she was using a lot of SaaS tools. All right. So, and her brand, she had maybe a $15,000 website that looked amazing, but converted terribly. So around about the same time, I met another person. I met this guy named Marcus. Same industry, same target market, but Marcus was pulling in $25 a month, working from his kitchen table using 3 simple tools and spending less than $200 a month on his entire business infrastructure. Now, remember, Tina herself spent a ton of money on advertising and marketing and building her structure, while Marcus is, he's different. $200 from his kitchen table. But what the difference was is Marcus understood what I call quality overhead paradox. So you ask, what is that? So here's the thing. When you have a quality overhead paradox, it's counterintuitive. And this is the truth behind that. The higher your overhead, the more pressure it is for you to cut some corners on quality. Now think about this. When you have like 3K monthly expenses, you start saying yes to every client, even the ones you know are bad, but you say yes to every single client. You rush projects to pay bills, you spend you start spending more time spreading yourself thin across every single service that you have. Now, what you fail to realize is when your overhead is low, you can afford to be selective. All right, so think about that. When your overhead is low, you can afford to be very selective. You can spend extra time perfecting your craft. You can say no to all of these non-clients, these miscellaneous clients. You can focus on the work that actually moves the needle. Now, there are three pillars to a high quality, low overhead operation. And pillar number one is called the 80-20 tool stack. See, most solopreneurs use 15 to 20 different tools. The high performers that I've studied use the maximum of 3 to 5. And so you have to think about that. A lot of people use a lot when they don't have to. Then you have some that just use like 3 to 5 max. And so here's a stack that I like to use. I use Notion for everything operational, Loom for client communication, Stripe for payments. And that's basically it. Total probably $47 a month. Now, can you imagine you sitting here and you're spending 47 versus $3,000 a month? The key is asking, does this tool directly contribute to the client results or my business growth? If not, do like they say, cut it. Now, pillar number two is the premium positioning strategy. Now, this sounds obvious. Okay. This sounds real obvious. Hear me out. Your overhead is low. You can charge a premium price because you're not disruptive. You're not desperate. You're not chasing the buck. See, I know a solopreneur who charges $5,000 for a service that others charge $1,500 for. The secret is he has zero recurring expenses beyond the basic software that he's using. So he can afford to work only with 2 or 3 clients per quarter and give them incredible results. See, low overhead equals pricing power. You understand what I'm saying? Low overhead equals pricing power. Pricing power equals selectivity, and selectivity equals higher quality work. And then the third pillar that you want to talk about is the asset light delivery method. Instead of building what you call a complex business with employees, inventory, and physical assets, focus on what I call bring to bank delivery. Your expertise goes directly into solving a client's problem with minimum friction in between. Now, this practical implementation framework, which of course is a step-by-step situation, this is that step-by-step action plan that you need to really take a look at, really dive into, really try to understand. So step number one is an overhead audit. List every monthly expense, categorize each as either directly improves client results or everything else. Cut 80% of the 80 of everything else category this week. That's what you need to do. That's the first thing you need to do. All right, second thing you need to do is tool consolidation. Pick one tool, one for project management, one for communication, one for payment. So if it's Notion, choose it. If it's Loom, choose it. If it's Stripe, choose it. Now there are some other ones out there, but these are just the industry standard ones that are out there right now. So just pick 3 and move forward. Now, step number 3 is rate of restructure. Now, with your new low overhead, calculate what you could charge if you only work with ideal clients. Scary number? Good. That's what you want. You want to have a number where people will determine if they want to work with you. You want to make sure that you have that number and stick with it. Don't be afraid. Stick with it. This is the new rate. Okay. Then number 4 is the quality obsession. See, now that you're not stressed about overhead, obsessed over client results, every project becomes a case study. Every single one of your projects becomes a brand new case study. And see, every client becomes a referral source. So once you start working with clients, they start referring you to other people. And once they start referring you to other people, then you become more dependent on word of mouth instead of having to worry about paid ads all the time. That's one of the most beautiful situations that you could have. A lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people think that it takes paid ads. I've talked about this, especially when it comes to marketing. You have to be able to know that you either have cold, hot, or warm traffic. Cold traffic, nobody knows who you are. Warm traffic, they know who you are, man, but they're still a little iffy about you. You still haven't built that trust factor. And that hot traffic is everybody has dealt with you and they want to purchase from you. So you become the go-to person that they want to spend. Think about this. Let me give you some numbers. In my community, solopreneurs have implemented this framework saw on an average. They saw a 140% increase in their profit margins within 90 days. And that's great, but not revenue, profit. This is profit. Okay. Because when you're focused on money and putting money towards unnecessary overhead, every dollar you earn goes further. Now, a friend of mine, I got a friend named Q, graphic designer, went from $4K a month with $2,800 in expenses to $5K months with $400 expenses. Same skills, same market, different approach to overhead management. And so you start to see what I'm talking about when you get to looking at putting together what we have just discussed. Now, I know you're thinking, this sounds simple in theory, but feels like it could be overwhelming in practice. And that's exactly why you need to come on over to the Solo Empire Network community so you can learn how to get some of this stuff broken down. Like I teach how to do podcasting, start a podcast, monetize your podcast. We're gonna talk about business aspects because podcasting is a business, but there's also other businesses out there. So we need to talk about how to get into these situations. Secondly, something huge, like when I first started this community, I stopped it and I revamped it. So now it's free. So we want to get upwards of 500 members just in the free community because we want to build this network for people like myself, people like you, who are coaches, content creators, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, podcasters. We want to be able to have something for you that you can get in here and mingle, network, exchange strategies with certain folk, build that bond, build that community. Yeah. And we want you to have that. So again, this is free. The Solo Empire Network is definitely free. Now, with this out of this community, which, like I said, it's low overhead. So, you don't have to worry about high quality. It's high quality operation with low overhead. You see, I give you the actual tool stacks that you use. I show you how to set up, certain workspaces. There are certain things about business operations that people will charge you for, but you could get this information, these resources with this side of the community for free. It's high quality. That's what we want. We want high quality. And if the one thing I want you to understand is this: if you get value from this episode today, do me a favor, leave us a quick review. Take 30 seconds and jump over to the Solopreneur Chronicles podcast.com and leave us a review. All right. Or follow us on all streaming platforms and leave us a review. That helps us get to that place. It helps other solopreneurs such as yourself find this podcast. Yeah, man. I hope to see you drop that review because I really look forward to it. I really need you to do that. Now, here's your homework before I, go to bed tonight and finish enjoying my, get up to head back to the city. Do an overhead audit, like I mentioned before. Write down every monthly expense in your business and be ruthless by asking yourself, if I had to restart my business tomorrow, which is $500, what do I actually need? So do that. Like I said, solopreneurs are out here crushing it. And the ones that are crushing it aren't the ones with all the fancy gear setups, okay? They, believe me, believe it or not, they are the ones who have mastered the art of doing more with less. And that's what you need to think about, how you can do more with less. And do you understand and know the secret? So check this out. I'm going to see you in the next episode. Remember, your expertise is your greatest asset. And everything else is just overhead. I'm going to see y'all when I see y'all, man. Peace.
Thanks for tuning in to the Solopreneurs Chronicles podcast. I hope today's episode gave you the insights and inspiration you need to take the next step in your business journey. If you enjoyed the show, do me a favor, subscribe, leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and share this episode with a fellow solopreneur. Your feedback means the world to me and helps us reach more people just like you. Let's thank our producers of the show, Sincere and Charlie Straughter, Rhea Cash and Theory Porter. So don't forget, for more tips, tools and resources, subscribe to the show. So just keep building, keep growing, and I'll see you next time.